How often should you be uploading to your YouTube channel? Coming right up. On the community tab on this channel here, Small YouTubers Boost, I recently asked a question. I said I want your questions about YouTube to make videos like this about. And so I said if you have questions, drop them in the comment. I'll pick the best ones to make the videos about. And you'll get credit in the video if I make a video about yours. So our first question comes from Your Expat Investor, who asks, what is better, lots of upload or more time of upload and sporadic? In terms of how much you should upload to your YouTube channel, how often should you be uploading? I think that you don't want to upload any more than daily. And daily is hard to do. So if you can't do daily, don't put that pressure on your shoulders. It's okay if you can't go daily, but if you can, that's often when you see your growth just skyrocket. And so daily can be pretty awesome. I don't want you going more often than one upload per day though. One of the reasons for that is something called view velocity. Now this is sort of the first hour and the first 24 hours of a video's life. Can be very important. In fact, it's the most important hour, the most important 24 hours in a video's life, generally speaking on YouTube, unless you get like a famous shout out later or something. So in that first hour, this is sort of like a test of your notification squad. The people who will come and watch your video right away. The first people to comment, the first people to watch, the first people to like. And so that's an important metric about the engagement level of your subscribers and your audience. And so that first hour, very important. The first 24 hours is an expansion of that where it takes into account different time zones. If you upload a video while your biggest fan is at work, they can't stop work to watch your video. They got to wait until they're off work or at home. Similarly, if some of your audience is asleep, they're not going to watch it in their sleep. They're not going to know to watch it because they're in dreamland. So you need to have a full 24-hour period for each one of your videos to hit your notifications for your subscribers and get that first 24 hours worth of views. And so if you have more than one video up in that 24 hours, a new video within 24 hours of each other, they're competing against each other for the same audience. If your audience only has time to watch one video, or as we know, the notifications on YouTube aren't super consistent. Even when they're set to all, they don't necessarily get them all. And so you'd actually be having notifications kind of working against each other if it's within that same 24-hour period. So if you're thinking about uploading more than once a day, please, my recommendation is don't. For one thing, that's an impossible thing to keep up with from just a workflow standpoint. But more to the point, don't have your videos compete against each other so that each video has its own time to breathe. When you upload a video, you should make yourself available for, say, a good hour, 90 minutes immediately after that upload to be responding to comments right away, hearting, pinning comments, and sharing it strategically on social media. So you want to give that hour and give that first day for the whole world to have a chance to watch your video. Let it breathe for a day at least. Now, if you are able to go daily, that can be quite a grind. So do please be aware of your own mental health and your own physical health and your own creativity if you're trying to achieve daily uploads. That is a lot to try and do. And so if you are going to do daily uploads, maybe set yourself a time frame where you can test out if you can keep that grind alive without totally burning yourself out and alienating all of your friends and family. So what you might want to do is have like a 30-day period where you upload every day. I tried that once on my Vacation Impossible channel, and it was a grind. And yes, I saw view growth, I saw subscriber growth, but honestly, I think the quality of my content declined. I wasn't giving everything the attention it needed to make sure that the editing was good, to make sure that the thumbnails were as on point as possible. So if you are going to try daily, I say start off with just like a 30-day stretch and see if you can maintain it. Don't be public about it. Don't tell your audience you're doing it. Just kind of do it and see how it goes. Now, if you are going to do this, one thing I would recommend, if you need music for your channel, check out Epidemic Sound. I'll have an affiliate link in the description, and you can get a free month with Epidemic Sound. And so what I would recommend is sign up for your free month right before you do those 30 days, because every video you upload during your free month, you own the rights to that video for life. So you can maximize that free month. In fact, you can also get a free month of TubeBuddy. And so I'll have a link down below to how you can get that and do the same there. So if you're going to try a 30-day stretch of a video per day, make it worthwhile. Get the free month of Epidemic, the free month of a TubeBuddy upgrade. If you're going to try it, give it your all for that month. And make sure that when you evaluate how that went, that you're not just thinking about how many views and how many subscribers, how many videos did I get out. Think also about what it was like for you as a creator, as an artist, as an educator, whatever you might be, an athlete, a humorist, whatever. And make sure that if you do decide to go that route, that it's sustainable in a healthy way. And just like mental and physical health, financial health as well, if it's something you got to spend money to make, keep all those things in mind. That's sort of the top end, like the maximum. So what would be the minimum? I've told you about the ceiling. What's the floor? Well, for this, I would suggest that if you can shoot to have one video out every week, that's pretty good. Now, one of the reasons I mentioned that, I talked about the first hour and the first 24 hours. Now let's talk about the first week, which again is kind of the most important week of your video's life. In that first week, YouTube still doesn't really know what your video's all about. It doesn't necessarily fully understand the content. It doesn't know what kind of audience is going to watch it, how long they're going to watch it, are they going to engage with it by clicking like and commenting. Speaking of which, please like this video if you find it useful, and please comment, what do you think about what I'm talking about? So those engagements are important. The retention and the watch time is really important. And so what YouTube does when it has a new video, and it basically says, like, I don't know how successful this video will be. I don't know who it'll resonate with. I don't know if this is going to work or not. So it gives it a week. And so you might notice when you're on the YouTube platform, you might see the little tag that says new next to a video. And so for that, what is that? That is indicating that that video has been published within the last 7 days. Now, personally, as a viewer, I find it useful if I'm watching news and I want to make sure that my news is current. And it's like, oh, if it doesn't have the new tag, is it news? And so that, from an audience standpoint, has that value. But understanding what's going on behind the scenes as a creator is super important, super useful. So in our case, when you see that new tag, that means it's within the last 7 days. It's in the getting to know you period. It's in the honeymoon phase, you might even consider. Some people in our Facebook group, which you can find at facebook.com/groups/small YouTubers boost, with over 348,000 small YouTubers. We share information, we teach each other, we commiserate when it's hard, and we celebrate when it's a success, and we get feedback on thumbnails and all sorts of things. So I strongly recommend, if you're not in our community, come on, join. It's totally free. But in our group, oftentimes people will say, I had a massive drop-off in my impressions, either at that hour mark, that 24-hour mark, or that 7-day mark. I've seen this trend for a while. And so that is basically the honeymoon's over. You know, it's not, maybe not the nicest way of putting it, but the thing is that YouTube gave it that hour for the view velocity of the notification squad. It gave it the 24 hours for the whole world to have a chance to watch it. And it gave it 7 days to really capture information about how the video could perform, what audience it appeals to. And after that 7 days, the algorithm is confused. If the video title is talking about golf, and if the description is talking about cooking, and the words being said is talking about a video game, and people are commenting about the Olympics, then it's going to be really confused. Like, what is this about? Video games, cooking, Olympic? I don't know. And so when it's not confident, it's not going to show it to people. And so those impressions are going to fall off a cliff. Now, not everyone knows about what impressions are. An impression is every time your video comes up somewhere on YouTube that someone could potentially click on it, that's an impression. And so if you're not watching your impressions, this could manifest itself as your views just kind of hitting a wall, because it's no longer being sort of shared on the platform to the same degree, because in that 7-day period, didn't do great. But if it does do great in that 7-day period, you could get years, a lifetime of views out of that, which would be fantastic, of course. Why am I talking about that? Why is that important? Why is that 7 days important? One thing that I've noticed is that in the first 7 days of whenever I publish a new video, my old videos start getting a little bit more impressions as well. And it's interesting. I think part of it is that it shows YouTube that you are active on the platform. And so one of the things, if you're monetized, you run the risk of losing your monetization if you don't do anything on YouTube for 6 months. So if you don't upload a video, if you don't publish on your community tab, These things keep the channel active every 6 months so that you continue to qualify for monetization. More granularly, I think if you don't publish something within a week, then YouTube starts to think that maybe you've walked away from the platform. Not enough to turn off your monetization, because that's kind of extreme and can upset people. And people go on 2-week vacations, or they end up hospitalized, or they have life commitments, whatever. They take time for a mental health break. Lots of good reasons not to be on YouTube. I get that. And so I think after 7 days, that's where I see the drop off. And so it's not just your new video. Publishing a new video helps your back catalog as well. It helps the overall exposure of your channel. So, in conclusion, how often should you publish? I would say no more than once per day, and if you can, as frequently at least as once per week. Part of this question mentioned more time of upload. Now that could mean a couple of different things. I'm not totally sure what the question is, but one of the things I mentioned when I talked about my experiment of going 1 video per day on Vacation Impossible for a month was that I felt the quality of my editing and thumbnails dropped. And probably also my titles, description, SEO research. I just didn't have as much time for everything as I did previously or since. And so spending some time on your upload to make sure that it's professional, that it's engaging, that you don't have long, awkward pauses that make you sound like William Shatner and make people click off your video. You can use jump cuts, or you can retake things, but editing and reshoots take time. It's a balancing act, because at some point you just have to publish. You can't be editing something forever. And that's where I think setting yourself a goal of 1 video per week is reasonable. It gives you time to shoot, to reshoot, to make a script maybe, to edit, to do graphics, to do the thumbnail, SEO research, and all of that. So I think in terms of time of upload, like the time you spend investing in your upload, if you're going at least once a week, you're probably going to be, not stalling and just like constantly, oh, I got to edit it, I don't know, and being wishy-washy. At some point, you got to pull the trigger, make a decision, and just publish it, move on with your life, move on to the next video. And so I think at least once a week keeps you in a healthy range for that. But also not doing more than once per day means that you do at least have some time to dedicate to those other things like editing and thumbnails. And another way of interpreting more time of upload could be duration. And that's an interesting conversation unto itself. One of the most important metrics on YouTube is anticipated watch time. So this is your retention, as manifested in minutes, basically. So if the average person watches your 10-minute video for 7 minutes, then the average watch time is 7 minutes. So it anticipates that YouTube says if somebody clicks on this video, odds are they'll stay on it for about 7 minutes. And so if you have a video that's only 2 minutes long, that 7-minute watch time is nearly impossible to get. If somebody rewatches it within a certain time frame, that's where you get the retention above 100%. And so you can kind of, but that's pretty rare. And when people do it, it's generally not enough to push the average over the total runtime of the video. So having a 2-minute video with an average watch time of more than 2 minutes per view is nearly impossible. It's not totally impossible, but it's incredibly unlikely, and you can't count on that happening. So in terms of the duration of the video, it depends on your audience and your goals and what your subject is about. So if your goal is to make money, you might want to make sure that all of your videos are more than 8 minutes long so you can have mid-roll ads. It's a source of revenue. Some people do that. And sometimes they do it organically and the video is naturally that long, and some people just stretch it out and repeat themselves. Did I remind you to click like on this video? See, repeating yourself can draw out the watch time. That's not what I'm doing here, I'm just making a point. If your video takes too long to get to the point, or you just keep repeating yourself, you're gonna kind of shoot yourself in the foot. If you take too long to get to the point, people will click off the video. If you repeat yourself, once you begin repeating yourself, your audience will very likely click off the video. So at that point, they're not going to keep watching anyways. In terms of the duration, the video needs to be as long as the video needs to be, is my advice. Don't try to set your content to a timeline. Let the timeline adjust to fit your content. If you've got a 90-second tutorial and it doesn't need to take more than 90 seconds, you could be rewarded, because when people are trying to click on decide what video they want to click on, they see a 10-minute video and a 90-second video, and they both offer the same solution to a problem, then they're probably going to click the 90-second one because people are busy. They don't got time. And nothing bothers me more than clicking on a video and waiting like 8 minutes to get to the bloody point. You know, my tolerance, I mean, like if I last 90 seconds and they still haven't gotten to the point where they're like, sorry, this upload is late, and, you know, oh, I had this thing going on, and before they even, you know, and they're like, oh, subscribe and like and comment, notifications set to all, and they're doing all this stuff and click my affiliate link and buy my merch and all this stuff. And it's 90 seconds in and they still haven't actually gotten to the subject of the video. I'm gone. Like if I last 90 seconds, that's like an accomplishment. I don't have that kind of patience. I think the average person has way less than that. So don't drag things out. Let the video take as long as the video needs to take. If you're saying every video will be exactly 15 minutes, unless you're doing scripted content where you have like a 30-second page you're working off of and you can write to that, I don't think that's a good idea. Let the video be as long as the video needs to be. And also part of the question was, what if the video uploads are sporadic? I actually have an unpopular opinion in this regard. I think sporadic videos, in terms of uploading on different days and times, can be a good thing. Now, I know people talk about, oh, you need to be consistent and, you know, yeah, I gotta have an upload schedule and all that. Now, consistency can mean a lot of things. It could be consistent quality, consistent subject, consistent upload time. I don't know that you need a consistent upload time. I think you should be smart about it. TubeBuddy, even the free version, has a function where you can see what the best day and time to upload is for your channel. But varying it a little bit, maybe not a bad idea, and here's why. I used to watch James and Mike Mondays. It was a Let's Play series on Cinemassacre with the Angry Video Game Nerd, a guy I've met, totally nice guy, James Rolfe. And the series isn't around anymore, but when it was still in new episodes, I knew every Monday that it would be there. And so I didn't need to subscribe to the channel. I didn't need to have notifications on, and I certainly didn't need them set to all, because I knew on Monday there should be a new video. And so they didn't get, possibly, in my theory, as many subscribers as a result of that. Whereas I also really like Flea Market Madness with Pat Contry, for example. That's still in new episodes. That's a fun show I enjoy on YouTube. But that comes out sporadically. And so I have to be subscribed and I have to have notifications on or else I could miss an episode. I think having a public upload schedule is a bad idea for a lot of reasons. It puts pressure and stress on you, but it also kind of lets the audience possibly off the hook where they don't need to have their notifications on. In conclusion, don't upload more than once a day. Try to upload at least once a week. Let the video be as long as the video needs to be. And if you upload on different days and different times, that might actually be to your benefit. You might get more subscribers that way. Question of the day. How often do you upload? Do you have any consistency to it at all? And if you were to maybe double it, let's say you upload every 2 weeks. What if you were to upload every week? Do you think that's something that you could do, or would it come at too large a cost in terms of the quality of your videos and the stress and pressure on your own mental and physical health and maybe financial health? So let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear where you're at. If you have a question that you'd like this channel to address, please head on over to our community tab. And we've got that post that says, you know, please add your questions and I'll be happy to answer your question, you know, if and when I can find the time. And speaking of finding the time, we go live here on this channel sporadically. When I have the time, which I can't predict when it'll happen, I'm hoping towards like the end of this month I'll have time, but I don't know. So when I go live, one of the things I offer is free 30-minute channel reviews. The only way I can do that totally fairly is going first come, first serve. So the first person in chat during a live stream to say, hey, can you please review my channel? They're going to get that channel review. So if you want your free channel review, if you want to be that person, you're going to want to subscribe to this channel, put notifications set to all. That way you'll know when we go live. You can join us early and possibly get that free channel review. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.